welcome into Plays I Like. My name is Lee Wakefield from the Touchdown NFL podcast. This week on Plays I Like, I'm taking you to Minnesota for the Chargers versus Vikings. And this play is a play that we've probably all seen. This is a play that Keenan Allen threw to Mike Williams for a touchdown. This is not a Justin Herbert throw, which is kind of strange considering I'm reviewing the Chargers here and we've got a Chargers game. But no, this is a play I like from Keenan Allen throwing to Mike Williams. But not only that, I've got more. So I've got a series of plays for you guys, not just one this week. So I've got 4 plays and the touchdown. And the reason why I'm doing it in this way this week is because I'm showing you guys how good defensive coordinators like Kellen Moore can use a series of plays to set up one big play towards the end of the game and, essentially be a decisive throw and decisive score for that team. Now, this should have been that. The Chargers went up 21-10 with this score, but as we know with the Chargers and Vikings, they can't have a normal end to the game. So there was always going to be drama. However, this should have been a commanding lead to take into the rest of the game and kind of see this out. However, it didn't turn out like that. The Chargers still got the dub though, which is what mattered for them. But this is going to be a series of screenplays, and that doesn't sound super interesting, I'm sure, but this is just the way that the Chargers set this up because we know that Austin Eckler wasn't playing again for the second week in a row. So the Chargers were using their quick game, their screen game, to extend the running game because they didn't have much of a running game. We know the Chargers aren't famous for having a great running game, and this week was no different. So what we saw was a bunch of screens, and they kind of baited the Vikings into giving up this big play, and I'll kind of show you how that went down. But yeah, these are extended handoffs, long handoffs to kind of replace the running game. Let's dive into the film anyway. There's enough of me talking already on this video. So play number 1 for this video, we've got the Chargers in a 3-by-1, and what we've got here is Keenan Allen, who's going to take the screen. Nothing too fancy around this. The Vikings showing zero blitz, everyone up on the line of scrimmage apart from 4 DB types at the back. This isn't a huge game. We've got Keenan Allen is the number 3 wide receiver in the 3-by-1 side. What we got if we run the film is we've just got Justin Herbert tapping his thigh, showing it's maybe a little signal for a zero blitz, and this is the answer to it. Get the ball out quick, less than a second, whip it out to Keenan Allen, see what he can do. He gets a few yards. The Vikings were pretty fired up after this one. That actually was a 3rd down play, so it was one that got them off the field. But it's just, like I say, one in a number of screenplays that the Chargers used on the day. I've got 4 for you guys. The Chargers threw multiple numbers of that number because they were doing this all day. Like I say, in an attempt to set this up, in an attempt to extend the run game. This second one that I've got for you guys is to Quentin Johnston, who I hope in the future gets a few more of these plays because he has actually got the run after catch ability that Keenan Allen and Mike Williams don't have. Quentin Johnston was drafted for this reason. He was drafted to get the ball in his hands and make big plays with the ball in his hands. And to give the Chargers that run after catch ability that they simply do not have in their wide receiver room aside from him and maybe Darius Davis, the late round pick from TCU as well. Obviously, Mike Williams went out of the game on Sunday with a torn ACL. He's going to miss the rest of the season, unfortunately. Really upset about that one personally for me as a Chargers fan, and the league is obviously going to miss him and his big playability. But hopefully, the silver lining of that, if there can be one, is that hopefully Quentin Johnston gets a few more opportunities like this one, where he's got the ball in his hands and he can make a play. Quite simply, though, if we run the film on, Quentin Johnston goes in orbit motion from the 3 side of the field where they've got 3 wide receivers, takes the catch from Justin Herbert, and it's just 3-on-3 at this point, as we can see as I pause the film. It's just go make a play, just go make something happen. He can't really eke out much as we kind of wind this on, but again, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity. Not all opportunities come to something in the NFL. Play number 3. Now, this is another reason why the Chargers were throwing a lot of screens in this game. As we can see, we've got 7 Vikings defenders on the line of scrimmage, showing a zero blitz. Brian Flores loves to be aggressive anyway, but on Sunday he went supernova and he kind of blitzed Justin Herbert on pretty much every drop back he had. He blitzed Justin Herbert 40 times out of 49 dropbacks that he had, which is 81.6%, which is high, especially for a quarterback like Justin Herbert who deals with pressure really, really well. The Chargers obviously had an answer to this sort of thing, which often was the screen game, as we kind of see throughout this video. So in play number 3 that we've got for you guys, it's 2-by-2, and Josh Palmer is the guy who gets this. And I like how the Chargers, I've got 1 play to Mike Williams, I've got 1 play to Keenan Allen, I've got 1 to Quentin Johnston, I've got 1 for Josh Palmer. They're mixing it up, so they're not just throwing these screens to one guy. as much as I want Quentin Johnson to have a lot of the screen, have a lot of the screen game and have a lot of the balls in his hands on opportunities like this where he can run after the catch, you can't always do that because it's always just going to be a tell to the D, and they're just going to kind of key in on that way too quick. If he's on the field, they're going to kind of know what's coming. So Josh Palmer, again, motion's involved in this play as we kind of wind this on. Palmer's going from the boundary side slot position, and then he takes the ball from Justin Herbert. He actually catches this about 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage when it comes. When the ball gets there, again, it's 3-on-3 on that side of the field with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams blocking in front of him. And again, it's just a case of go and make a play for me, go and make a man miss, go and score a touchdown if you can do that. Because as we can see, if we get good blocks here and Josh Palmer can make one guy miss, there's a lot of open grass for him to run into later down the line, and that should be 6 points. However, if we wind this on, Keenan Allen can't quite maintain his block. He's frustrated with the play, frustrated with himself on this one, and Josh Palmer, gets a few yards again. Play number 4. So this is a little bit different to what I've shown you so far. And this actually shows the depth of the Chargers playbook when it comes to screen packages, I would say. We've got a bunch of different wrinkles in these plays, different motion, different alignments, different formations, different players that are being involved, plays that don't always look the same. And this always keeps the defense guessing, in my opinion, like I said before. So this time, when I wind it on, we've got the Chargers again with 2 wide receivers. We've actually got 2 tight ends on the field. We've got Donald Parham in line, and then we've got H-back with the yellow boots on. We've got Stone Smart, who actually motions on this play. And this play is really, really interesting to me because this is a potential shot play for the Chargers on this play. So we've got Stone Smart, tight end, H-back on this play. He actually runs a wheel route up the sideline, which is really, really interesting. And as I wind this on, just peep Justin Herbert in the backfield. So there you go, Stone Smart 84 setting off. Comes out. This could look like a screenplay though, right? You could get the 2 wide receivers blocking in front, Stone Smart receiving the ball, and again you got a 3-on-3 on that side. But Stone Smart carries on, as I said, and peep Justin Herbert there. Look at his head. He's looking up the field. He's not looking at that screen. Mike Williams actually dropped for the screen, and we've kind of got Stone Smart potentially blocking, potentially run this wheel route. On this one, he's running a wheel route, like I say. Justin Herbert wants to throw the wheel up the sideline. He wants to have a big play. He's big play hunting on this play. However, the Vikings kind of defend this pretty well, as we'll kind of see as we kind of wind it on. And we've got Mike Williams available for the screen or the swing route. He receives the ball, again, doesn't make a great deal out of it, gets a few yards. So we can see how the Chargers have built up a bunch of screenplays and built this into the offense and the game plan. And the Vikings are probably keyed in on this now. It's third quarter, as I said earlier. So this is a touchdown play, and I've got the play out for you guys up already. So we've got Keenan Allen down at the bottom of the screen, and he's, like I said before, he's the guy who throws the touchdown. We've got Mike Williams and Josh Palmer at the top of the screen. They're just going to run double goes from this one. This is the one they've been waiting for, and they get exactly the looks that they want. The Vikings really do sell out on this one, which I'll kind of come to a couple of times on this video. Here we go, Keenan Allen in the motion, receiving the pass really, really deep. And we've got a problem for the Vikings, as we can see. Mike Williams, Josh Palmer in a lot of space. The whole Vikings defense pretty much has sold out on this one. Mike Williams receives the pass, quite a soft pass from Keenan Allen, a bit underthrown by him. And he walks into the end zone for an easy score and a great play. We'll see it from the end zone angle here again. This is just to show the gravity of the play. I've got it paused for you guys here. Look at that. So Keenan Allen receives the ball. He's about to throw it. Josh Palmer is he's already broken free. He's already got acres of space. And I've got 5 Vikings wide receivers who are bearing down on Keenan Allen. They kind of want this to be another screen, right? And they want this to be another blown screen. And, poor blocking from Josh Palmer maybe. And they are keying in and selling out on this play and wanting to tackle Keenan Allen. But, oh no. All he's got to do is loft it over the heads to Mike Williams. And like I say, walks into the end zone for a touchdown. So, like I said before, it just shows how good play calling can string together these plays and mean that, like I say, the Vikings really selling out on that play to Keenan Allen, and hopefully, in their minds, getting a big tackle for a loss at a key point in the game where they're hopefully going to come back. I love how the Vikings were baited into this throughout the game. However, like I said before, I hope that it's not going to be Keenan Allen receiving a lot of these screens, not Josh Palmer. I hope it's going to be Quentin Johnson receiving a lot of these screens now on, because unfortunately, like I said before, Mike Williams torn ACL, done for the year. Something to keep your eye on moving forward. Who gets these plays? How the Chargers kind of use this? How Kellen Moore strings plays together? And that is all we've got for you. So like I say, thanks for watching another episode of Plays I Like. I'll be continuing to bring you guys one of these a week at least, maybe two sometimes, depends on what we see, depends on how much time I've got. Hope you're enjoying them as much as I'm loving putting them together. And if you are, tap on the subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss any of our videos. You can also obviously catch the Touchdown weekly podcast, which I host as well, and that'll drop on a Tuesday every day, 5 p.m. UK time, noon Eastern in the US. All likes, all subscribes, all the support that you guys receive, that we receive, really does mean the world to us all. But that's me signing off. A little bit of a long one for you guys this week, but yeah, signing off till the next time. See you then.